The signal here is not that players hate live service games. The signal is that more players are getting tired of games that expect permanent loyalty. Every new game wants your daily login, your battle pass progress, your event participation, your weekly challenges, your attention. And the industry keeps acting like player attention can expand forever. It cannot. There are only so many hours in a week. You have work, you have sleep, you have family, you have errands, you have social media pulling at your brain every 5 minutes, you have YouTube, you have other games, you have real life. So when a new live service game shows up and says, come back every day, finish the pass, do not miss the event, stay current this season, that game is not simply asking you to play. It is asking you to make another commitment. And I think that is where the industry keeps getting this wrong. On the surface, this looks like players rejecting new games because they are too negative, too picky, too loyal to old franchises. But that's not the full read. Players are not always rejecting the gameplay. Often they are rejecting another responsibility, because when your free time is already limited, even a good game can start feeling like a second shift. The easy read is that live service games fail because there are too many bad ones. And to be fair, that's a part of it. Some of these games launch unfinished. Some chase trends too late. Some have no clear identity. Some are just trying to borrow Fortnite shoes and hoping nobody notices. That happens. But that's still the surface version. The deeper issue is that the average player does not have unlimited time to maintain multiple ongoing games. Media research found that a large share of PC and console players spend under 10 hours a week gaming. A lot of players are under 5 hours. Just 5. That's the whole conversation right there. A new live service game is not competing for every hour of your week. It is competing for the 5 hours you have left after work, family, sleep, errands, and everything else life demands from you. That changes the math, because a player with 5 hours a week cannot realistically keep up with multiple battle passes, ranked modes, sneeze no events, limited time cosmetics, daily quests, raids, dailies, and 100-hour progression systems. At some point, gaming stops feeling like rest and feels like clocking in. And that is the part companies keep refusing to confront. They look at Fortnite, Call of Duty, GTA Online, Roblox, look at Destiny, and then they see the revenue, the engagement numbers, the cosmetic sales, and the endless updates. And they tell themselves, we need those too. But they skip the hard question. Where is the player's time supposed to come from? Because that time is already taken up. The real issue is that the live service market is not a normal market. It's a winner-takes-most market. The biggest games do not just have players. They have habits, friend groups, communities, years of progress, cosmetics. They have routines built into people's weeks. That means a new forever game is not simply competing with another new release. It is competing with the game people already play every Friday night with their friends. It is competing with the game where they already have 200 hours of progress. It's competing with the game where they already know the maps, weapons, the meta, rewards, and the people. That is a much harder fight. Newzoo has shown for years that a huge amount of PC and console playtime is concentrated in older established games. In earlier data, games 6 years old or older account for more than 60% of playtime. That does not mean players refuse to try anything new. It means new games are entering a market where attention is already occupied. The problem is not that players have no games to play. The problem is that they already have too many games asking for them to stay. And that is where publishers get arrogant. They see an opening in a genre. They see a successful game making billions. They see a market report telling them engagement is valuable. Then they assume players are sitting around waiting for another game to become their new lifestyle. Most players are not. Most players are already committed somewhere. Or they are tired of being asked to commit at all. A new game cannot just offer another roadmap, season, battle pass, or a set of dailies. It needs to offer a real reason to leave what players already know. That is harder than making a good trailer. That is harder than getting a big launch day. It's harder than putting live service in a pitch deck and calling it a strategy. Because you're not asking players to try your game. You're asking them to move their time, money, social circle, their progress, and their routine. That is a much bigger ask. Now let's get to the human cost of this. Players pay through pressure. They pay through fear of missing out. They pay through limited time events. They pay through battle passes that turn entertainment into an obligation. They pay through games that make them feel behind the second they take a week off. There is actual research behind this. A peer-reviewed study looking at engagement rewards like daily login bonuses, repeatable challenges, and seasonal rewards found that players can enjoy these systems, but they can also experience them as chores, obligation, and fear of missing out. That is the balance people miss. I'm not saying every battle pass is evil. I'm not saying every daily quest is manipulative. Some players enjoy them. Some players like having goals. Some players enjoy long-term progression. That's fair. But the same system that motivates one player can make another player feel trapped. There's a difference between giving players something cool to do and making them feel punished for having a life outside the game. That's the line. A battle pass should feel like a menu, not a time clock. And I think most working people, know this feeling. You get home after a long day, you finally have some time, you sit down to play something, then instead of thinking, what sounds fun right now, you start thinking, which game has the event ending soon? Which battle pass did I pay for? Which one am I falling behind in? Which daily quest do I need to finish? That's not freedom. That is the industry turning leisure into admin work. And over time, players start moving differently. They stop trying new games. They avoid games with aggressive roadmaps. They wait for reviews, discounts. They wait to see whether the game will still exist in 6 months. They protect their time. And honestly, they should. Because trust is not unlimited. Attention is not unlimited. Patience is not unlimited. When people feel like every game is trying to extract more hours from them, they eventually pull back. Not because they hate games, because they're just tired. The practical move here is actually pretty simple. Do not judge a game by how much content it promises. Judge by how much it respects your time. A game saying it has 10 seasons, endless progression, weekly events, and a 5-year roadmap does not automatically mean it is valuable. Sometimes that just means it has 5 years of ways to keep you busy. Those are not the same thing. The better standard is this. Does this game make me want to return? Does it make me feel afraid to leave? That is a player respect test. A good live service game earns loyalty through gameplay, community, meaningful updates, and real reasons to come back. A weak one relies on pressure, daily chores, limited time rewards, battle pass anxiety, artificial urgency, endless progression with no real finish line. And players need to get more direct about this. You do not have to maintain every game. You do not have to buy every battle pass. You don't have to log in because the game told you timer is running out. You don't have to turn your hobby into another unpaid responsibility. Pick the games that give you value. Pick the games that still feel good after the rewards are removed. Pick the games where missing a week does not make you feel like you failed a job assignment. Because that is what a lot of these systems are counting on. They are counting on you failing to invest to leave. That's not loyalty. That's pressure dressed up as engagement. This also matters because the downside of this model can be brutal. When a traditional single-player game fails, you can still often own it. You can still revisit it. You can still play it years after. When online-only live service game fails, the entire thing can disappear. We saw that with games like X-Defiant, which shut down after struggling to hold its place in the market. We saw Sony pull Concord from sale and issue refunds only days after launch. And when Anthem's servers shut down in January 2026, the game became unplayable because it depended on being online. That is the second layer of this problem. These games do not just ask for your time. They can make ownership temporary. So now players are being asked to commit months or years to a game that can vanish once the business case falls apart. That should change how people evaluate these games, not with cynicism, but with clarity. But here's the bottom line. The market is not running out of players. It is running out of available attention. The biggest forever games are already own a huge share of people's habits, time, friend groups, and spending. So every new live service game cannot just demand more, it has to earn more. And for players, the move is simple. Protect your time. Do not let a battle pass turn your hobby into an obligation. Judge games by whether they respect your life, not by how aggressively they're trying to keep you inside them.
Oh, hey, glad you're still here. I've, just finished syncing the next set of files for you. They're right over there on the screen. Take a look and, catch ya in the next one.